Hey, guess who's back? I am doing SanctityRapture's 4 things tag. She did this video the other day and I just thought it was really fun, so I thought I would share kind of a getting to know you thing. And I'm not going to tag anyone specifically, but if you're watching this and you want to do the video, I'd love to see it. The first question is list 4 jobs that you've had. So I'm trying to think of the interesting ones, but basically my very first job was working for our local Canadian Football League team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I'm a huge, huge Canadian football fan. Massive. Started going to games when I was 3, had seasons tickets when I was 6. My parents have had seasons tickets for, I think, almost 40 years. Actually, longer than 40 years. Probably more like 42. So, yeah, we're a big football family. And actually one of my goals is to be able to get, I could never fit into the jerseys, the like personalized jerseys, and my husband and my kids both have them, and I really wanted one, so I'm really excited because not this season, but next season, I'm finally going to get my own personalized jersey. So, yay! Anyway, so yeah, I'm a huge football fan, and my very first job was actually working for the team, selling tickets in their head office, and also selling tickets for the Grey Cup, which is basically our version of the Super Bowl. And I love that job so much. I really did. Best job ever. After that, I worked in a grocery store as a checkout girl. Very glamorous. And then I did some other jobs as well. Fast forward to after graduation, I worked at a software company in inside sales, and then I moved into marketing, and I was the e-marketing coordinator. And then I went back to school for graphic design, and so since then I've been a graphic designer. And as you've probably heard a million times, I own my own stationery business. I do custom wedding invitations and invitations for other events. So those are 4 of the jobs I've had, although I have had more, of course. 4 places that you've lived. So I grew up in a place called Dundas, Ontario. Dundas is near Hamilton, which is one of the bigger cities in Canada. I would say it is sort of the Pittsburgh of Canada. It's steel town. My father actually worked in a steel mill for 30 years. And so that's where I grew up. It was a nice little town, like 20,000 people. My parents still live in the same house that they have been living in for 37 years, but they just conditionally sold their house the other day, so I'm excited for them. They're finally moving out of that house and into something smaller because it was really way too big for 2 people. So I lived in Dundas. After that I moved to Toronto. I lived in Toronto for about 5 years, so I lived, or maybe 6. I lived there through university, and then also for a couple of years after that with my husband. And then we moved to Australia. I've actually lived in Australia twice. I was there on a university exchange as an exchange student in 2000, and then I lived there for pretty much all of 2004 as well with my husband. And I lived in Melbourne. And then when we moved back to Dundas for a little while, and now we live in Burlington, which is basically pretty much halfway between Niagara Falls and Toronto, or I guess a little closer to Toronto. We're about, on a good day, about 35-40 minutes outside of Toronto. On a bad day, about 3 hours, depending on the traffic. So that's 4 places that I've lived. 4 TV shows you love to watch. I don't get to watch as much TV as I used to. I love television, I really do, but I just don't have the time. My PVR is always full and I never have time to catch up. But 2 of my absolute favorite shows of all time are not on anymore. So I'm going to put that in as a bonus. The show Lost. Love that show so much. Was so sad when it ended. Did not like the way that it ended. Was disappointed, but whatever. And the show Fringe, interestingly enough, created by the same people. Fringe ended last year. Sad face. I love that show. So those were my 2 favorite shows ever, which are no longer on. Now I'm a big fan of singing shows. Go figure. So I watch all of them. I watch American Idol. I watch The Voice. I watch The Sing Off. I watch anything that involves singing, reality shows. I'm down with that. So I like watching those. I really love The Voice because Adam Levine is on it. He's fine. I'm just saying. You guys probably already know that I have a little thing for him, but shh, don't tell What else? Arrow is a new show this year that I really like. Stephen Amell is in it. He's also very attractive. And there's a lot of him doing like chin-ups with no shirt on and stuff on that show. True Blood. That is one of my favorite shows. Love it. Particularly love Joe Manganiello, who plays Alcide, the werewolf. Ooh, he is dreamy. He's my first choice for my next husband, I have to say. And actually got a chance to meet him and Channing Tatum last summer when they were doing promo for Magic Mike. And I can't even talk about it. That is a very attractive man in real life. I'm just saying. I can't believe that all I've talked about is shows that I watch with sexy men on them, like as if that's the only reason I'm watching television. It's not, but I do, appreciate an attractive man. I'm just saying. What's another show I love watching? Oh, I love Glee. Go figure, singing show. I love Glee. Let's see who's sexy on that show. Oh, Darren Criss. Darren Criss, who plays Blaine. He's my favorite on that show. So now that I've talked about 4 sexy men and 4 television shows at the same time, go figure, 4 places you've gone on vacation. This is it's easy but hard for me. I am really lucky that I have been able to travel a lot in my life. My mother is big on traveling. She has that serious wanderlust and she passed it along to me. So I've been blessed to be able to travel quite a bit. So I've been a lot of places on vacation. So I talked about Australia. I lived there. That doesn't really count. So I'll talk about some of my other favorites. I have been to Bali, Indonesia. Bali is one of the Indonesian islands. It is stunning, but outside of that, the Balinese people are just the most beautiful, kind, friendly people you would ever want to meet. It's just fantastic. I loved it there. I have been to Tahiti, French Polynesia. So I think we went to Tahiti, Bora Bora, Huahine, and Raiatea, which are 4 of the islands in the French Polynesian island chain. That is my favorite place on earth. My favorite place. Like if I won the lottery tomorrow, see ya, I wouldn't want to be ya. I'd be making my YouTube videos from Bora Bora. Just saying. I have been to New Zealand. New Zealand is awesome. The thing I love about New Zealand is it reminds me a lot of Canada in a way because it's much, much smaller, but from like the North Island to the South Island, you have all kinds of ecosystems and weather. You've got beautiful beaches and warm weather in the north, and then in the south you've got mountains and snow and fjords, and it's an amazingly beautiful country. I would love to go back and explore a bit more. I was only there for a week, unfortunately, so more New Zealand. And where else? I'm trying to think of someplace like exotic. Okay, well, this isn't like one place, but I've done a lot of traveling in the Caribbean because we go, apparently I'm crying about Bora Bora. We go on cruises fairly often. So I've been to a lot of places in the Caribbean. And the one place that I am crazy about is this place called Half Moon Cay. It's one of the Bahamian islands, just a small island. It's owned by Carnival Cruise Lines, and Carnival and Holland America ships call in there as their private island. And it is the most beautiful place. The sand is like flour. It's so soft. The water is crystal clear blue. It's just amazing. So that is one of my favorite places to visit. So that's 4 places I've been on vacation. 4 favorite foods. Wow. Well, this is interesting because this is, I guess, the only thing that really relates to weight loss surgery. Sorry, my butt is getting numb. So let's do pre-op and post-op. Pre-op, my favorite foods, the big joke was that my 4 food groups were chocolate, cheese, bread, and Diet Coke. And so my favorite food, favorite in the world before surgery was pizza. I love pizza. I also love gyros or souvlaki or shawarma or any of those things with meat wrapped in a pita. Super, love that. Bread in general was my thing. I love bread. Like, I don't know if anyone in the world loves bread the way I did. Breaking up with bread has been really difficult, I'm not gonna lie. And I did really like chocolate. Post-surgery, no more pizza, no more gyro, shawarma, none of that. No more bread, no more chocolate. So what are my 4 favorite foods now? Cheese. I always loved cheese and I still love it. And it's the one thing that I can still have. And if you take my cheese, I swear I will cut you. Okay? Because that's all I have left. So just leave me my cheese, please. So cheese is definitely one of my favorite foods in all kinds of forms. The little wonton cupcakes I was talking about, the taco ones, I've always loved Mexican food. And the taco ones are my favorite. Like very easily my favorite. I do like my Greek yogurt and that kind of thing. I eat it every day, so it does get a little old, but I do like it a lot. And just like chicken in various forms, I think chicken's probably one of my favorite things at this point. So those are 4 of my favorite foods post-surgery. 4 places I would like to be right now. Wow. The 4 places I talked about that I've been on vacation, any of those places would do. You know, I don't know that I can really think of I'll tell you what. I'll tell you 4 places I would like to be in the U.S. My 4 favorite U.S. cities. New York, which I'm going to obviously in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting. Chicago is probably my number 1 or 2. New Orleans, which is, again, New Orleans and Chicago kind of switch between being my favorite. And what's another place that I really like in the States? Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale, because I always think about it as being like, you know, going on a cruise, because we often cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, so that's one of my favorite places. So, not because I love Fort Lauderdale that much, just because it's usually before we go on a cruise. So any of those 4 places I'd be happy to be in right now. And 4 things that I wanted to do that I couldn't before surgery. Wow. There's so many things. I can't necessarily do all of them quite yet. I've always wanted to do those like really cool adventure type activities. I really wanted to go bungee jumping when we were in Australia, but I couldn't. Too bad. So I've always wanted to go bungee jumping. I've always wanted to go skydiving, zip lining, parasailing, all that stuff. I could never do any of them because of my weight. And so this year, when we go on our cruise in October, I probably will actually be small enough to do some of those things, but just because of the places where we're going and the fact that my kids are little and all that stuff, I'm probably not going to do any of that stuff. But next year, my parents are celebrating their 40th anniversary. We are going away as a family again. I think that we're going on a cruise and doing a resort thing after that as well. But I'm going to do those things on my next cruise. So I'm going to do the parasailing, I'm going to do the zip lining, I'm going to do the 4x4 thing, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do all those adventure activities I couldn't do before when I was really overweight, when I was morbidly obese. So I'm looking forward to that stuff. That's going to be really awesome. So yeah, that's my 4 things tag. And if you're watching this, tag you're it. I'd love to hear your answers. Have a great day.